Hi everybody, it's Elle. I've just been thinking deeply today, which is, I love it. Sidebar, so neurospicy here, so ADHD connection here, which some people would say is a trail off, but that's wrong. It's a connection, and I make connections that most people can't see or others can't see. And explaining that to you made me lose my mind, lose track of my mind. And so more and more on this channel, there's going to be less explaining of what this is and more of me just doing it so I can offer what I have to offer. Neurospicy people have a hard time interacting in our society, are often rejected, alienated, lonely, isolated, and they're isolated for being different. I've been isolated for being different. The reason that I can say the accomplishments that I have in my life, like being a doctor, teaching at the #1 school in my profession for a decade and a half, having my own business, having traveled in the world, having fundraised for different organizations working to make the world a better place, having written a book, having run marathon distance through Yosemite unsupported, having biked around Taos, the Enchanted Loop, I believe that's what it's called. This was some time ago, 20 plus years ago. Enchanted Loop, all by myself, pulling a trailer, and bushwhack camping, driving to Alaska, overlanding, building out my own car to suit my purposes. So there's a competency there, there's a capability there, but inside I know there's so much more, and I haven't been able to share my mind because of my upbringing. And my brain is a very delightful place, but there's barriers for people accessing it. And part of that's because I haven't known I was this way. I'm smart enough to know what it takes to fit in, and so that takes a lot of energy to do that, so that I was able to do that well enough that I could be the captain of my high school soccer team for 2 years, or I could be all conference soccer player, or on a Division I soccer team, or leader in faith groups, leading small groups of people, small groups of women, teaching courses, being leaders in my youth group and college evangelical Christian group, raising, making my own business even in high school to be able to get to Germany. I went as an exchange student for 3 weeks, lived with a family, and my family didn't have the funds for that. I didn't have the funds for that. There weren't students going on the trip, but from my school, so there was no org fundraising, and I think a lot of kids really didn't need the fundraising, or families didn't need the fundraising, but I did, and so I made my own little plastic bag convenience store at 10 a.m. during the break time. I don't remember what that was called, but the break time, and it's like adolescence, so raging metabolisms because the body and brain are changing so much, and I would just sell these king size Kit Kat bars and Reese's cups to start out with, and then I started getting Skittles and Milky Ways and Snickers, and I raised $800. This was back in 1997 is when I graduated high school. And I did that. I'm going to swing. I'm out here to swing. Stop swinging. I'm in a hammock, by the way. I did all that so I could spend those 3 weeks in Germany, and that played for the entirety of, just selling those candy bars. I was able to pay that, and that was back in 1997. That was not a cheap flight and travel situation for that kind of era when I made like $5 an hour working at the local ski shop, or I had a paper route for a long time. So I finished my graduate school, waited 2 years for me to defer. They waited for me. I graduated like 7th or something in my class out of over 500 students. So I'm smart. And I have these capacities, but there's all this masking that I have. And so, and there's so many intersections. So my feminine nature, being born female, there's certain expectations of somebody born like that you'll behave a certain way. And I haven't had the freedom to explore my thoughts and share them. Most of the leading that I've been able to do, the further I get along, and any kind of thing that has to do with lifestyle or how people live, in a faith community, in particular, was limited to women. No men would show up. But even when I do anti-racism work now, or just charity work, it's mostly women. Men are there's just such an embrace of negative masculine energy and negative female energy. And but female energy there's nothing about female energy that's not smart or brilliant. So where are all the female philosophers, and why are women disparaged instead of being as philosophers and thought leaders, that they're self-help? Right? And that's somehow a bad thing, that we have been isolated enough that we have to take care of ourselves, when we know that things take a community. So I wanted to make a connection. So that's been going on in my head. And I wanted to make a connection. Oops, I'll probably not try to look up my shorts, but yeah, I am exploring my leg hair, this is my 3rd time in the last couple years. Excuse me, I have water out here. This is my 3rd time in the last few years. We gotta do something here. Okay. This is my 3rd time in the last few years to grow out my leg hair, and it's changed every time. Oftentimes, I think the first big time was in the pandemic, and then I did it a little bit ago, and it's happened with different partners. And I do it until I don't want to anymore. But the whole time I'm doing it is stretching. But let me tell you that what they don't tell you, they don't tell you, or they don't know, but hair is so when somebody rubs your head, and that just feels so very good. Just think of what cats do and dogs do when you rub their fur and their hair. It feels so much better over hairy skin than it does over smooth skin. So when the wind blows, or when you're swimming, it feels so much better. So leg hair, the hair anywhere. I had the joy of feeling my armpit hair earlier this week. it feels amazing. It feels amazing. So this is just Elle with Becoming Divergent, and let me know in the comments ways that you're finding that you're masking, or you think somebody around you is masking, and you can help yourself to be more your authentic self, or them to be more their authentic self. And ultimately, if we're going to help somebody else be their authentic self, we have to be our authentic self, and then that allows us to hold space. So the greatest gift we can give somebody is to hold space for them to be themselves. And really, that's what this channel is about. I'm rooting for you. I love you, and may you always see the blessing.